What's the point of worship? What's the real reason that we come together to celebrate the Mass?
The goal is to look like Jesus. I really want to tell you what I've been trying to tell you for 2 days.
Mindfulness of audio levels.
Just give it some effort, would you?
There's something so beautiful to just remaining hidden in the heart of the Father.
If we've got to be exhausted, let's be exhausted for the kingdom.
We became Facebook friends.
I just want to tell people how awesome it is to be Catholic. There's so much freedom.
From St. Pius X Church in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Roar Like the Lamb.
I'm sorry. I'm singing a song in my head. Open the eyes of my heart.
So we've got Paola on a late 90s to early 2000s P&W kick here. I'm loving it. This is
P&W, that means praise and worship.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling so great. I'm feeling super nostalgic, actually.
You're feeling nostalgic. You sound a little congested. You okay?
No, we're getting better.
We are getting better.
I'm sorry, we. I am. The different parts of my body collectively is a we, but I am one. I am one whole. Anyways.
Why are you on a nostalgia kick? I'm curious about this.
I don't know.
How did that get started?
Well, this morning I was singing a song by Maverick City Music. It's an awesome worship band out of Atlanta. So I was singing one of their songs. Then when I was in the car driving some kids to school, I was like, you know what? Let me just check back on one of these old songs. Brandon Heath, Give Me Your Eyes. And so there I was, like bopping, going down Blackrock Turnpike, just listening to Give me your heart for just 1 second, all that stuff. Then I started laughing at myself because I purposely learned that song because there was a guy at the Catholic Center that I had a crush on, and I was sitting at a table with him, overhearing a conversation about his favorite song. And then as some time passed, at like a couple of days later, I was just at the same table, I just happened to be there. Then I played the song out loud. He goes, "Oh man, I love that song." And I was like, "Do you now?" So I was recollecting those past.
Wow. I wonder sometimes how much of the conversion stories of many people is related to I had a crush on this person.
Well, mine was not led through a crush. This was after my conversion.
Okay, so post-conversion, but even then, like spiritual development, continued spiritual development.
Oh yes,
growth,
yes,
right?
Man, that guy's really holy. I should like what he likes.
Right. So you stuck around at the Catholic Center because there was this guy. Like I joined youth group because there was this girl who I had a crush on, and that led me to the priesthood. So logically, it all follows.
It
right?
all makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
God knows what he knows the desires of our hearts and works with it. And he goes, well, if that's what's gonna get you to praise me,
whatever it takes. Hey everyone, welcome to Roar Like the Lamb. I'm Father Sam Kachuba.
And I'm Paola Pena. That's such a great way to start off.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're congested but getting better. We are getting better.
We are getting better. Okay. I had a COVID scare.
Did you have the COVIDs?
I did not have the COVIDs. I really genuinely thought I had the COVIDs. I was like, oh, what? So I was calling my cousin like incessantly, like all day. I was like, well, I can't breathe right now. Wait, I have all these symptoms. I don't know what's going on. What if I have it? Also, with the amount of times that I'm out and about, I'm like, honestly, I'm not surprised I haven't gotten it yet. Now it's its rightful time for it to come to me. So
yeah, except you haven't been around anybody who's had it.
Right.
That you know of it.
I was very confused. I was like, I haven't done anything in like 2 weeks.
And
so
even though
you've
been doing things,
I'm socially distanced.
Yeah, it's not like you're not careful.
Right. I'm not
you're
careless.
You're a careful, cautious person, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. My family seems to differ. They're like, you're just so careless, and I was like,
no, you're doing what you can.
I'm just with people, but those people are doing well, and so if they're doing well, then I can hang out with them.
Yeah. All right, now. You made the logical connection based on how you were feeling, on the symptoms that you had, on all kinds of other things.
Sore throat, shortness of breath, high congestion, puffy eyes. Yeah. I was like, I'm dying.
Now, granted, like high pollen count right now, super heavy allergy season.
Yeah, so I ignored my symptoms for about 3 days because of that, but it wasn't until Monday that everything got worse. I was like, man, it's got to be more than allergies at this point.
Yeah.
So
you put together the possibility that COVID could be it.
Yeah, it was deduction.
Yeah, a logical one.
Yeah.
All right. Outside of COVID time, what would you have decided about your illness?
I has a cold.
Right.
I has the common cold.
There's nothing else to it, right?
And
this is just a cold.
A bad headache because of it.
All right. How's it feel to be wrong?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was God's way of saying, like, sit put, child. You need to stop. I mean, I think
that's a turn of phrase I don't think I've ever heard. Sit put, child.
Oh, that's just me talking. That's not actual real English.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's definitely not a phrase.
Well, because like I've learned different phrases that they have in different places, like side by each. I mean, side by side.
Where's that?
Other places than here.
What is other, like South, Midwest?
I think side by each is actually a North Carolina thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, James Taylor uses it in one of his songs. But the thing is that James Taylor's also a Massachusetts guy, so it could be a Massachusetts thing.
I could see that being a Massachusetts thing.
Yeah, he talks about copper kettle sitting side by each in one of his songs.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure, but like these little phrases that they have that don't exist in other places.
The bubbler.
Yeah,
I have to go to the bubbler.
That's a very Rhode Island thing. We wouldn't say that here.
I heard it first from Massachusettsians.
Yeah, I guess they use it too.
Oh, they do.
It's a huge Rhode Island thing though. They have coffee milk too in Rhode Island.
Coffee milk?
Coffee milk. Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's milk that's coffee. I don't know. It's a thing that they have that you don't find it anywhere else. But it's called coffee milk.
So like in Vermont where you have maple creamies.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right.
It's kind of like a local specialty.
What does Connecticut have?
Nothing.
Lobster rolls.
Although I heard that the Connecticut State Legislature just voted to make pizza the official food of the state of Connecticut.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So pizza is now the official food of the state of Connecticut. And I think, all right, I'm actually grateful to the state legislature for doing this because they did it before New York or New Jersey could do it, those jerks. Right? And that's the important thing.
Forget those thousands of Italian immigrants.
Apparently, though, no, that doesn't matter. It's pizza. New York, Connecticut has the best pizza. New Haven, especially. It's just an objective fact. Pizza being the state food makes perfect sense.
It's been contested at the national level. It's well documented and it's well proven. So
exactly.
I'm not here to argue with you because the world has decided that New Haven has really good pizza.
It is well known.
Yeah.
Apparently, though, there were several in the state legislature who voted against this proclamation.
The audacity. Why?
Right.
Why?
I demand that they be removed from office immediately and exiled to like Cincinnati or something, someplace that doesn't have good pizza. This is outrageous. How can they possibly claim to represent the interests of the people of the state of Connecticut if they can't recognize that Connecticut has the best pizza in the world?
I haven't had Frank Pepe's yet.
Ever?
Are
you kidding me?
I still haven't done that. It's on my bucket list.
How have you never had Pepe's? We're going to get Pepe's today for lunch.
Well, I'm getting pizza tonight for dinner. It's a lot of pizza.
So then you're going to have more pizza than you need today.
I already have my lunch. I made this nice Asian little meal. I'm so excited for my lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paola is protesting having Pepe's Pizza. I'm going to kick you off this podcast if you don't do it.
Okay, fine. We'll do a staff Pepe's Pizza today as a celebratory to the budget finishing and all these other things.
Oh man.
All right. Okay. All right. I'll have my first. I've had Modern. I've never had Sally's. What's the other one on that same street? Is it just Modern, Sally's?
Modern and Sally's. Those would be the two that are, I think those two are on the same street.
Oh, there's another one that opened up on that same street, which has Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah.
Delicious. Yeah. Honestly, by far the best.
Well, Parties in West Haven is really good too.
Oh, I don't know.
You got to try that one out. And Roseland I think Roseland is in Derby. That's another really good one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's just amazing good pizza all over the place.
Also, chicken wings are pretty high on the list in some podunk town in Connecticut. I think it's in Derby. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. Sorry.
Are we allowed to badmouth the valley? I don't think we should.
No, I mean this is just coming from Fairfield County-ers. But oh man, I'm being so isolated and divisive today.
Wow.
But it made it is the best wings in Connecticut. This bar, a little bit of rundown, but it has the best wings.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Yeah.
I'd believe it. Okay. Well, there we go.
All right, so Frank Pepe's for lunch. Just like your garden variety pepperoni, because that's where I'm at.
Pepperoni.
I love pepperoni.
Ugh.
What, cheese?
Oh, we got to talk. No, that's off the podcast talk. I mean, come on.
Wait, no. What do you get?
Well, so with Pepe's, you get there's any number of different things, but they're famous for their clam pizza, their white clam. It's really good.
Oh.
But they're also they've got a lot of.
Oh, so I have to have a specialty pizza from Pepe's.
No, not necessarily. I just always feel like going with pepperoni. Go to Pizza Hut then. All right, you want pepperoni on a pizza? Go to Pizza Hut. No, I think pepperoni is a wasted pizza topping.
What?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of throwing pepperoni on pizza. I think it's a mistake.
That's so sad.
No, I think it's laziness.
What?
I think there's so many better things that you can put on pizza than pepperoni.
But it's so classic and so good and so simple.
I don't think it is actually classic.
Okay, fine. Then you give me a documentary, The History of Pizza, and then we'll see. I'm sure the National Geographic has something about this.
There's got to be a documentary on the
Of course there
history of
is.
pizza, right?
There's people who love pizza who've made it their life to study it, its history, its cultural effects, and yeah, the development of the pie.
Now, see, for me, it could just be the particular type of pepperoni being used on the pizza.
You want grass-fed?
Grass finished.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's way.
Yeah, because of course, as you know, like there's only natural ingredients in various types of sausage. Right. I worked in a deli.
By natural, you mean what, like quote unquote?
Yeah, I worked in a deli when I was in high school. And
you did?
Yeah, I did. It was great. But there's a problem when you see them grinding up all the meat that's going to go into the sausage and seasoning it and everything. It's actually really cool to watch. But the whole process, it's like there's a hose that they attach to the sausage casing, and then they press this little
I've seen Food
pedal,
Network,
and it just like oozes all this ground up meat and
so it's just like pork
and
and fat and ground beef,
and you're just like watching it inflate like it's a balloon or something. It's bizarre.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's kind of of cool.
You working at the deli? That's weird.
Yeah, I was
to think
a cashier.
about. Oh, okay. So you weren't actually like.
I was too young to actually use the meat slicers and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that I was imagining you.
That's where every Polish word that I know comes from. Was from my time working in the deli. I know like 6 or 7 Polish words.
Can you say them right now?
I know Nowidzenia.
Okay. What does that mean?
That's like hello.
Okay. Nowidzenia.
Yeah.
All right.
Szybko.
What's that?
Hurry up.
I'm sure that was said a lot.
Pusta głowa. Pusta głowa means empty head. Yeah. So those are like those are on the list of Polish words that I know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So you don't have COVID.
I don't have COVID.
But it made perfect logical sense that you would check.
Yes, because of the times.
Right. Because of the times that we're in, it makes perfect logical sense to check. How did you feel when you got the negative result?
I felt much better, and I was like, oh, good. I need to breathe better then.
I do need to work.
No, I mean, like I was worried because my roommate has diabetes.
Right.
So she made me wear a mask the entire time. And I was like, you know what?
A reasonable precaution.
Definitely, for sure. Thankfully, she was already vaccinated. So she's like, I just need you to stay away from me. But also, let me know if I need to take a week off to take care of you, because I will gladly call out of work and just use you as my excuse. And I was like, yes, you are welcome.
That's a generous roommate, though.
I think she just needed a week off of work.
Who doesn't?
Right. Who doesn't? Yeah, so that was it. I, out of care for the people around me, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get anybody infected if I did have it. I feel like a zombie.
But it feels good to know that you don't have it.
Yeah, much better.
This is one of those cases where, like, you logically deduce the possibility that you had COVID.
Yeah.
It feels good to be wrong, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah. In this case, yes.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I cannot imagine taking 2 weeks off. No, there's too much to do.
There's definitely too much to do.
There's too much to do to take off 2 weeks in a row.
There's definitely, yeah. Oh yeah. This is one of those. All right. So being wrong. I want to go deeper into this idea. All right.
Develop it.
Because I like the idea of being wrong sometimes.
Oh, you should talk to my sister. She needs to learn that. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Wow. Okay, Paola is sleep deprived and she's just speaking freely.
I genuinely am.
Let's see what else I can get her to say.
I'm on 4.5 right now. Actually, that's generous. I'm on 3.5.
Nice. All right, so this is where it's good. So being wrong helps us to learn. In the whole educational process, we need to sometimes be wrong, but that's how we learn. That's how we develop. It's how we grow. Now, we don't want to aim for being wrong, and we don't want to be obstinate about being wrong.
Right.
We need to be able to take correction and take new knowledge, and we need to be able to adjust our ideas accordingly and appropriately. So, for example, you got sick, and given all of the circumstances and given the circumstances that we are living in right now, the current cultural moment and the current historical moment and the current medical moment, examining all of the symptoms that you were exhibiting, you were able to say, it is possible that I have COVID, I need to go get tested. And you got tested.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you got that negative result, though, you knew that, in fact, what you have is more common and less serious in that it's a common cold and it's not the serious thing that would be COVID-19.
Correct.
You immediately were able to adjust your perception of your own illness and therefore put aside any other ideas that you might have had.
Oh, yes.
And any other concerns that you had.
Once you go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, because now I don't need to worry about these things.
I don't need to look at a WebMD anymore.
I told you that my doctor hates WebMD.
You did say that.
It's just because people come in and they've looked up their symptoms, whatever it is, and they've decided that they have terminal cancer or something.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, you have strep throat.
You hooligans.
That's all it is.
What are you doing?
Yeah. But it's easy for us to get caught up in this idea. And if we don't actually seek out correct information, if we don't go looking for the right information and learn, then we're going to end up believing all the wrong stuff. So theologically, that happens really easily. We get caught up in this idea, well, I think that it should be this, or I believe this, or I read this thing in Scripture.
No way. That happens
and therefore, this interpretation has to be correct.
Yeah. One of the reasons I'm actually very grateful for church authority, which is a very I was talking to my cousin who goes to a church in the area, and there has been, I guess, in a way, who's kind of telling me like there's just been some upset with like church authority, but it's like a localized thing. There isn't like anything that goes like above, because there's no like levels to it like it is with the Catholic Church. And as much as people get frustrated with like the authority of the Catholic Church, blah 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 blah, I'm like, honestly, I'm so grateful that there's someone else who's telling us like this is it, this is not it, move on.
Yeah.
Because you spend too much time wasting on other things that are actually detracting you from living out the gospel and preaching the gospel. So grateful.
Well, and when you have that authority of the church, so the beauty of the authority of the Catholic Church is that first and foremost, it applies to matters of faith and morals.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about those issues of the faith, what are we to believe? The church is extremely strong and extremely clear. When it comes to matters of discipline, like what should we do in this particular circumstance or in this particular situation? When it comes to issues of administration, the church has a certain authority. But in that case, it's very possible that the church's authority could be incorrect.
Right.
Like we can choose to do the wrong thing administratively as a church. So like I could choose to make the wrong decision for the parish and discover that it is in fact the wrong administrative decision, and I have to back it up and redo the whole thing. It's possible for a bishop somewhere to make the wrong kind of move in a disciplinary way in terms of how the church is going to do certain things. But when it comes to the issues of who is Jesus, when it comes to those issues of theological truth, there's not room for
biblical
error.
Interpretation,
And
all of
part
that
of the,
stuff.
And part of the beauty that you see is that every once in a while, there will be a theologian who starts to speculate on something or throws an idea out there. And there's a beauty when you see a theologian take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to wait and submit my writing or my thinking to the church's authority so that the church can teach me, and so that the church can interpret what I've just written and make sure that it's done correctly, make sure that I'm on the right track with all of this. There's a beauty in that, because the church has that authority to say this way of teaching is inconsistent, or this way of teaching is incomplete, you need to complete it. This way of teaching is not actually in keeping with the church's tradition, with the church's teaching, with what the church believes. Sometimes being wrong can help them. Right? On an even more basic level, though, like an even more basic human level, this is where I see a challenge. Like we need to let people be wrong sometimes, and to be able to admit to them that they're wrong. Think about your ministry with middle schoolers and high schoolers. What happens if you ask them a question?
Well, middle schoolers talk more.
They talk more. But how often, if you throw out a challenging question?
Well, they're afraid to answer because they want to answer it right.
Yeah.
And that's this. They're paralyzed. Like, well, what I don't know where to start or how to say it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Yeah. But it's in just saying it and learning how to develop thoughts and critical thinking. Yeah. Like these are very basic things, but you're not expected to know the right answers, but you are expected to seek them.
I think that culturally we've set up a system for kids especially where there's not room for them to be wrong. They always have to perform.
Right.
And so they always have to be on.
Right.
Their answers always have to be on point, because if they're not, somehow that impacts their entire future, or it impacts their status with their teacher,
right.
or it impacts their reputation with classmates, instead of the idea that being wrong can actually help them to learn. Worse, you get people who like to step in and interfere, parents who don't want their kid to ever be wrong, and who insist that the teacher has to give their kid credit for even just trying to answer something. Your kid was wrong. I'm just correcting their mistakes so that they can learn.
Yeah.
We need to have that freedom for someone to be incorrect, not as a judgment on their character or their personhood. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, but we also need them to work on being right, to learn to be right.
I'm sorry. As you're saying all these things, all I have are experiences of my sister telling me, Paula, you're wrong. You need to learn how to do things right. Why are you always wrong? I'm always right. Sorry. So that just got really personal for me very
and
quickly.
We've gone to a core wound. It's very beautiful.
Now,
That's
we
what
say
we're
this
about here.
jokingly, but also like with a lot of truth.
A lot of truth. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no. I agree. It's paralyzing. So then you stop actually seeking and you stop being seekers of truth.
Yeah.
So.
And that asking, recognizing that I'm wrong, recognizing that I've got the answer incorrect should lead me to seek out more stuff and more information. But instead, you're right. It becomes something that now I'm afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid because I was wrong that one time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. Get it? Sorry, that was really bad. The delayed reaction is precious. I'm so grateful.
Oh my god.
That was fantastic. Yes, I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on.
All right, what else you got?
Can I talk about the bishops' meeting?
No.
All right. Well, that's that. I had a feeling I can't. What else?
Was it a positive experience?
It was
for you
very
overall?
positive, so I'm very jazzed about it.
Good.
Is all I need to say.
Good.
It's very jazzed.
Enthusiasm. I like that.
I'm excited for the next few months.
Well, you've got a busy outlook ahead of you. As we're looking now at we're recording this, we are in the month of May.
Yeah.
So we're looking
middle
ahead.
Of May.
We're looking ahead at the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of cool things.
Lots of cool things.
All right. What are you doing for yourself this summer?
That's a great question. I haven't had time to think about that.
All right. What are you doing for your own
professional
development?
For my own professional development. Okay. Well, I get to spend a week in the sweatiest land in the country, Ave Maria, Florida. Sorry, that is not attractive to anybody. I hate Florida.
Where are you going? A sweaty place.
It's a swamp.
That's a strange way to describe everything.
When you find out the place at Ave Maria used to be a swampland where they grew tomatoes or something. But down the road there's Immokalee, so you just have all these oranges where Florida's orange. So that's pretty cool to see.
All right.
But it's just like you just walk out and you sweat. Like that's the part I'm not looking forward to. And then I had an option: go to Ave Maria or go to Bismarck, North Dakota, where the sun sets at 10 p.m. And as a fool, I chose Florida because it was shorter and cheaper. But I'm like, why didn't I go to Montana? No, North Dakota, sorry. See, it's all big sky. It's all the same.
Well, North Dakota is close to Montana.
It is.
They do share a border.
They do share a border. Yeah. So anyways, I'm like, why didn't I do that? So I didn't do that.
But what are you doing?
So what am I doing there is I am continuing my spiritual director training.
Okay.
Nice. So this is where the Lord is really calling me. Actually, it's pretty fascinating just to see. You can make a plan for your life in the church, but it's really hard to do that. And I like what you had said at one point. Plan for like 5 years out and see what happens, because God changes things and he moves in ways that you don't expect. And so really coming into recognizing what my apostolic ministry is. I feel like I'm really genuinely stepping into that. And I like to coincide it with, Jesus was 30 years old when he really started his active ministry. And yes, I've been in active ministry for the last 10 years, which is so weird to say.
Right.
Wild. But I feel like I'm just stepping into greater personal apostolic ministry that like God is really challenging me, like go and, I was invited to take the spiritual direction course for former Focus alumni to go back to help direct current Focus missionaries. But I also see that as a gift for the people that I'm serving right now. Mm-hmm. Whether this is going to turn into like greater spiritual direction for people in the parish, which is awesome. So that I'm really humbled by that, which is great. And so pretty much we're going to go there. It's on-site training, and then we have to help lead a retreat and meet with missionaries during that time. And then from there, then I take on 1 or 2 missionaries to mentor throughout the next year. So nice. It's about a 2-year program. The first year is a lot of formation. The second year is a practicum. But I would be able to lead Ignatian retreats as part of my training as well, which is pretty awesome. It's just awesome because it's like all of these things that I'm receiving is that I can bring it back to the parish. I could do this. I could like set up this retreat. I'm so excited for this. Like if there isn't already enough for me to do, like it's really cool to see God setting up all these opportunities to grow in formation in order to give more. And to know how to do that well and to serve his people, particularly the way that I think of my ministry is I'm always through the avenue of healing, like what needs to be healed for people to grow in freedom and in discipleship with Jesus. So that's exciting. Soon after the first week, so I spent like 6 days in Florida. Then I spent 4 days in Arizona, which is preferable heat. It is dry. It is beautiful. It is not sweaty.
But it's still really hot.
It's so awesome though. Yeah. I can like the fact that I can be in jeans and a t-shirt and be fine. Like it's a miracle. Also, I have decided that when I retire, I want to go to Arizona. Like it is perfect. And if I can be in the Flagstaff area, I get my mountains and my snow and I get the desert. Like that's like
See, I like this. So you've got the 5-year plan, but this is the long range plan.
Oh,
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like
good.
Picking out spots,
Nice.
right? Picking out spots. Good. I feel like Arizona would be good for me.
I want you to dream. I want you to have dreams.
We should have dreams.
That's good. No, it's very, very good. I'm thrilled for you.
Yeah, so that was really good. And then I come back. I get a week break, but not really. Because then for the next week, a full 7 days in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, really, it's like 4 full days of driving and 5 days in 4 days in Tennessee.
It's going to be a lot.
That's going to be the longest trip that I've ever had with any of these students. So, but it's fine because I have been on a bus for 30 hours from Vermont to Orlando, Florida.
You can handle it.
This will be fine.
Yeah, it's not
College students are no different than high school students, right?
I think the college students tend to smell better, maybe. I don't know.
They sleep more.
Yeah.
So
they understand the value of sleep better than the high school students do.
So we'll find out how exhausted. Thankfully, you'll be on the trip for the first leg of it.
I will be with you on the first bus trip. That's true.
And I gave you permission to abandon me for the second part.
I'm a fly home.
Of course he is.
Well, that's because I have to get back for work.
Oh, exactly.
I have legitimate reasons for needing to fly back.
I know. My legitimate reasons are make sure the kids get home safely and alive.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the national trip. So we'll be with Catholic Art Work Camp doing our week of service with our high school students. I'm looking forward to it because with Catholic Heart, I haven't had a chance to work with them in over a year because of the pandemic. And I always love being with them, but I don't have to be the chaplain at this camp.
He gets to work.
I'm normally the chaplain. Well, I'll still be doing some work with their staff while I'm there. That's the plan at least. Is that I'll be doing some training of my own. Getting some training to assist Catholic Heart with some of their stuff.
So this training is to be
it would be to know what is required of one of their camp directors, and how that all works, so that if there's a situation where there's not a director available, but I was going to be the chaplain, say at one of the camps, I could also fill in the director role and assist with all the different things.
Okay.
So it's just another layer of the way that they work on things. Catholic Art really operates very, very well, but when you've got basically college students or recent college graduates who are your staff and running things, there needs to be somebody who they report to.
Oh, for sure.
Who knows what to do, because honestly, those staffs are incredible.
Yeah.
They work incredibly hard. They stay up super late just making sure that everything is set for the day to follow, and then they get up insanely early to take care of stuff, and they work all day. And they work really hard all day. So having somebody else who can kind of step in and help them to make decisions and tell them this is what you're going to do, it's a big help. So I'm excited because I get to know a little bit more about how the whole thing operates, and I really love their mission.
Yeah.
I really love
10 years in the making. You're finally going to become a director, and you finally might make it on the front page of their marketing.
I don't think that I will ever make it into a single thing that Catholic Heart produces, and that's one of the. I actually at this point I kind of hope that I don't.
Oh, really? Just to keep it going?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's become a joke. I've been working
because
with
at that point, then you can't complain anymore.
Yeah, I've had something to do with Catholic Heart for my entire priesthood, as going with groups here, or then working with them as a chaplain, and I've never made it to anything, any of their publicity, and I kind of at this point just love that it hasn't happened, and it cracks me up. So I'm good with it.
Are they so fully aware of this, like from the top?
Well, so I don't actually know who runs their social media or who puts together their stuff. And it really genuinely, it doesn't matter. It's just a joke. It's just a way for me to tease them. I love complaining to Kelly about it. And Kelly, how come you didn't put me on the like when the girl from our group, I think it was Grace, when she was on one of their flyers, I was like, that was literally her first camp. I've been doing this for 8 years and nothing yet. Come on.
And this is why he's a diva priest.
I'm such a diva. It's great. So I am disappointed. Can I be honest? I am really genuinely disappointed that the Steubenville East and Steubenville, New York retreats aren't happening this year.
Yeah.
I was really hoping, but I understand why. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But just disappointed.
Ohio's still happening.
It is on campus. Yeah. I hope that they'll be able to get it back sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
It's unfortunate.
Little by little.
And this was the year that we were finally going to be close to home.
Right? I know. Now, what I might do the week after we get back from Catholic Heart, I might sneak up to Hartford a couple days because the Hartford camp is happening right after that 4th of July week. Yeah, so I might sneak up to Hartford and just visit up there and see how they're doing. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same week we have VBS for the first time here.
Yeah, I would only be able to go up during the day for 2 hours and sneak back. I wouldn't be able to actually do anything with them.
Okay.
But it would be nice to check in up there too, because it is a nice local camp. But I think it's too close to home for us. For our kids, we need to go out so that when we come back to stuff, we can really get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing. When you're on these long bus rides, you really build a sense of community. And shared life experiences really bring you together.
In a huge way. Yeah. Oh. What are you doing that's just for you that's not ministry this summer?
I still don't know. Besides the fact that I turned 31, I don't even know what I know I'm old now. I'm seasoned, but I look like I'm 19, so it's fine.
There we go.
Yeah, it's great. I haven't had time to think about that.
All right.
I genuinely, Father Eric. He texted me and he was like, hey, so the Sisters of Life are having a very secret, top secret retreat, invite only. I'm extending one to you. Do you wish to go? And I was like, I can't. I am desperately in need for a retreat. That's what I want to do. I don't know. I need to look them up, but it's the ones that I want to go to are it's Sisters of Life. I've been going to those almost once a year for the last 10 years. Yeah, just go to Stanford and then God always does some resurrection in me every time I go at that retreats.
Right on.
I just a deep healing and or he just shows me, hey, you haven't been faithful to me. Here's my heart again. What's that line in Revelations? You have forgotten your first love. And so that has been kind of a theme lately. In the last couple of weeks, someone had brought it up, and I've been just mulling it over. Jesus is saying in the book of Revelation, you have forgotten your first love, and so you're acting out of a place of unfaithfulness. I just really need to go on retreat to go back to that. And even as you continue with the scripture, there's a part where it says, remember what you did at first. How did you place yourself in places where you allowed the Lord to adore over you, that you allowed the Lord to see you and to be near you. And where have you replaced that, particularly with ministry, is don't allow service for Jesus replace love for Jesus.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up in the action, in the activity.
Yeah.
I've got all this stuff to do, so that's going to cover me, especially when you're in active ministry. In regular ministry, a priest can do this, a youth minister can do it. We get caught up in thinking, all right, I said this many masses this weekend, and so if I neglect prayer this weekend, it doesn't really matter because I said so many masses. That covers me for my prayer time. Right? That's basically enough. That's the same thing. It's not, by the way. It's not the same thing, and it can't be.
It's not.
Or it could be, I was with this group and leading them in prayer, leading them in a retreat.
Counted as my prayer time.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
And there needs to be that real personal time as well.
Yeah.
That's just between you and the Lord. It's that idea of being renewed, being refreshed. We can give only so much of ourselves, pour ourselves out only so much before we need to be refreshed ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to refill the tank, and that refilling is really good. And if we don't do it the right way, if we don't come to the Lord asking, then we're dead in the water.
I mean, this is why the church recommends like that every Catholic like go and make an annual retreat.
Yeah.
2 if you can.
Well, and the law actually requires it for priests.
Ah.
We are required to make an annual retreat each year.
Wow.
So we call it the canonical retreat because I covered myself for the canonical retreat this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And that's how important it is.
Yeah.
Like actually the law binds priests to make a retreat each year.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
There should be a law for the people too. In fact, I'd say twice.
Well, there are a lot of guys. When I was on retreat, one of the priests who was there, who I was talking to, said that he has blocked out of the time that he's permitted to take, because every diocese is going to have a slightly different approach to it. Like how much time can you actually take off, and it's permissible for you to be away, because it'd be easy for a guy to just say, well, as long as I get priests covering masses here, I can be away whenever I want, and that's not a good thing. That's not a pastoral heart, right? So there's usually a sort of set time that you can actually have off from your ministry, so that you can rest, be refreshed, develop, do your retreat. And so at least 1 week of that is going to be dedicated to retreat, usually 2 weeks for some kind of vacation, and another week for some kind of professional development. Right. So you can go take a class, you can go to a conference and spend time, or you can go to 2 conferences and split up that week.
Okay.
So it's like X number of days each year that you're able to be away. But the idea is otherwise, where do we need to be? We need to be here.
Right.
We need to be in our assignments. We need to be with our people, because if we're supposed to be spiritual fathers, then spiritual fathers have to be present.
Yeah.
You can't be a spiritual father if you are absent all the time. Right? It's just impossible. It means you're not doing your job as a spiritual father. So that idea of presence is really important. But this priest who I was on retreat with said that he's discovered in his time that going on vacation doesn't help him. Like he would go on vacation and all right, it was kind of good to get away and have that time to relax. But what he really needed was another week of retreat. So instead of 2 weeks of vacation, he takes 2 weeks of retreat, not consecutively.
Right.
He'd go on retreat at one time a year and then retreat another time of year.
Yeah.
And then he would take a week off in the summertime to go away, be with friends or
do something
to visit
fun.
family. Yeah, and just kind of do some recreation and everything. And then if he's able to, he tries to take another class or some kind of professional development.
Like that.
And do something like that. And I think it's a brilliant way to go. Like I did my retreat. I'm actually looking to see if I can find a couple of other days on the calendar where I might be able to sneak up to the monastery in New York for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for an overnight, because there's also really good fishing in the neighborhood of the monastery.
So recreation and retreat.
Oh, if I can work it out so that I could get up there and like stay the night at the monastery and do some fishing during the day on my way up, and then do some fishing during the day on my way home, and just get a night at the monastery where I get to pray also. Ooh, that could be good for me. I could love that very much. Oh, it'd be nice. I do get to go to Montana this summer. I'm excited about that.
Oh, awesome.
I get to go and do the fly fishing trip again.
That's cool.
So that'll be nice. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And at some point, I'm going to have to work in a trip to Virginia.
Oh, to go visit your parents?
And my brother. Yeah. I need to get down and see them. But it's hard. It's hard. Like when do you find the time to do it? Especially when like I made up the calendar for the summer to make sure that I had coverage at different times.
Right.
But then with resident priests and their travel schedules and when they have to be away,
and
for
things are
different
opening
things,
up. So
things are opening up, but they both also have commitments over the summer because they have full-time ministries, and those full-time ministries require things of them even in the summertime. So there are certain times when they can be away, certain times when they can't be away. And I'm trying to make sure that everything matches up so that I know when there's going to be something available, like a priest available to cover stuff here. Because one of the hard things now is that if they're not here, I really do have to be here because there's nobody else who can take care of opening and closing the church.
Yeah.
I mean, we could work it out, I'm sure, with staff and everything here to take care of that. But still, to make sure that everything is set up and ready to go, I don't have anybody who can do that. It was easy when I had a parochial vicar. Parochial vicar, you're here the week that I'm away. I'm here the week that you're away. And that's it. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So much easier. So much easier. Not quite as easy anymore. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me this summer.
Well, if I'm here late, just ask me to lock up. I'm always here, so.
That's the thing. I don't want you to be burning yourself out here just for the sake of locking doors or something like that. You need to go home and you need to rest too.
Oh, what's that? What is rest? What is the response of somebody?
We'll figure that out someday.
Says, I'll rest in heaven. I'll do my work on earth and rest in heaven.
You know,
work myself to death.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Just kidding.
But I'm looking forward to a summer that's going to have these different activities. Like it's exciting looking at this summer and knowing that we can actually do things again.
Yeah.
Because we had such a weird year last year where things that you want to do, things that we should do were just impossible.
Yeah.
So it's really nice being able to look ahead and say this is something that's realistic that we can do, and it's going to be not just for our own enjoyment. This is going to be something that's good for our people. This is something that's going to be good for me personally. Yes, true, but something that really ultimately brings people deeper into their relationship with God. This can be such a restorative summer. So I'm excited about it.
It's a planning summer. We're just ready to go.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
And it is exciting. Like, it's exciting to see coming out of this. I can't possibly take a pessimistic approach to life in the church post-pandemic.
Oh my gosh, no, it's so exciting. It's like, ooh, like,
because you'll see things like, are people ever going to come back? And we get
they are.
I think they really are. They're already.
Well, I mean, I love what Terry said, that somebody calls the church 3 to 4 times a week to baptize their kid or to register.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's awesome. That's like really, really cool to say, hey, I want to sign up for St. Pius. Like, I heard really good things about it.
Yeah,
like,
it's nice having that, but even more than that, I think just as a church broadly, we have so many opportunities to take these really positive steps in terms of how we're living the faith and appreciating what we have more than we appreciated it before. We kind of took for granted a lot of things. We can no longer do that. We can't take for granted, number one, our liturgical practice, that we have the access to the Mass and to the sacraments. That's definite. We can't take that for granted. But I think also on a more practical level, we can't take for granted that people want to be here.
Yeah.
We do have to make sure that we're offering them something and that we're inviting them and encouraging them. It's not just going to be an automatic where, yep, they're coming no matter what.
Yeah.
No, we've got to make the effort. But when you make the effort, it's amazing because they respond. People are looking for this. They're looking for the truth.
They want to know how to plug in.
Yeah, they're
ready.
I got stopped in the parking lot yesterday by somebody who just, hey, I've been meaning to come and talk to you. Do you have a minute? And we had this.
Is that when I saw you walk around the building like 4 times? You were doing laps.
Yeah, we're just doing laps, having a conversation about this search for God. And how important is that search?
So dope.
It was great.
That's awesome.
But this is the thing. People are looking. They really genuinely want to. They want to find the Lord. They're looking for that relationship. But we've got to be ready to invite them. We've got to be offering the invitation again and again. Right. But coming out of the pandemic, we can't do this thing where we sit there and go, well, I don't know if this is going to work. People are really upset, or people aren't going to come back, or anything like that. Just do it. Just go. Just go.
Well.
And we've got to be excited about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, oh, for sure, because that's never been like my motto. I'm like, oh no.
Being excited about it?
No. Just like, oh, we're just gonna like sit. Like, no, you have to go out there and do stuff, which is I don't know. Maybe it's just like a fire from the Holy Spirit, but I can't stop myself. My problem, I don't know if it's a problem. Maybe it's like a gift. I don't know if it's a gift, but if I see something in the church that's in need, I can't help but like respond to it. I'm like, oh, let me close the gap on this, because I'm seeing that this is an obstacle to you asking questions, to grow into like give you an opportunity for encounter, or to grow in knowledge and discipleship. Like, it's just, I think I genuinely believe that the church has to be there to help close gaps, make it easier for people to enter and to know how to plug in and to have these encounters. Like, it's like, I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to facilitate these things for you. And then you do that to somebody else. And then it just continues. And then it grows. And then we just have a bunch of surrendered people in church, and it's awesome. Sorry, that is the ultimate vision.
That's the ultimate vision.
That's the ultimate vision.
But isn't that great? Isn't that beautiful? Right?
It's beautiful because we are working towards it. Yeah. That's what we're doing here. Working towards casting that vision, but that everyone take responsibility and co-responsibility for that vision. So, yeah, I'm just so excited. Good stuff. I'm so excited.
And you know where that all starts?
In prayer. I mean, it does. I was
going to say, you were wrong. It all starts because you were wrong. You don't have COVID.
I'm not sure how to make that jump.
It all comes together, okay? It's in that being wrong that we learn to search, that we learn to look. And when we recognize that there are people out there who are searching, and we're inspired to try to help them in that search, to help them not see being wrong as a defining characteristic, to help them not see being wrong as a negative, but to help them see that in that search and in those questions that they have, they're seeking, and that we can help them to find what they need.
So in other words, don't be afraid to take risks.
Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to ask. And don't be afraid to step up to find the truth.
Cool. So I feel like we should move on to a topic called servant leadership for the next series. Sorry.
Oh, for the next series. Okay. I thought you were throwing another topic at me. Like, oh, I thought we were done. Okay.
No. I like, this was more of a catch-all kind of episode. So like, yes, we were a little bit all over the place because
we're just making it up as we go along.
Right.
Let's be really honest.
This was today, but this has to go with what we just said. Like, okay, we're planning this, but what is this? What is a vision of church? But also, what is a vision for leadership at church, and what does that look like, and how can we develop that? So that's what I want to talk about the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Servant leadership.
Servant leadership.
Yep. A Catholic worldview on leadership. Is another, it's a phenomenal book too that you can actually read.
That's what you do with books. They're more than just a lovely backdrop for us. These are meant to be read. You can pick up any of these books and read them. These are real. This is not a fake backdrop. This is not a Zoom background. This is a real bookshelf with real books.
Yeah, I think the next step is equipping people and empowering them in their gifts and in forming them as leaders.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I love it.
So.
All right. So servant leadership. That's what we're coming up with next. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but this is going to be fun.
Oh yeah. It's just going to be a lot of my focus training going out of all of you. Be prepared.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Paola.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't have COVID.
So am I. Still a little congested, but we are doing better.
We, Paola, the we. Yes. This is Roar Like the Lamb. Thanks for listening. I'm Father Sam Kachuba.
And I'm Paola Peña.